example of that.
Oh, so you're more talking about on the track.
I'm
talking about off the track. There's
yours. That wasn't the question though. Would I like?
Oh,
Yeah. Of course,
fair.
I'd like to see very.
Oh, so you've changed now?
No, but I'm saying she
You
won't.
don't. So apologies, James Cummings. I've just stopped Anamoe, and I apologise to all the team at Godolphin. 100%. It is the best country in the world. I agree. That's a yeah. That's a yeah.
yeah.
That's a question.
Country Australia.
Marlow,
Dave, how are you, mate?
good to see you, mate.
Great to see you,
Bit of
mate.
table tennis?
Oh, I'll beat you.
You probably would. Are you any good?
I'm okay.
Are you pumped? You like the pink?
Lovely.
I like the pink.
You're
Lovely.
parading well.
Lovely, parading well. Pick of the yard. All right,
Let's get into this.
Let's get some questions
Yeah,
going, all right?
Big Spring.
Okay. Yeah.
Got to say yes. I mean, proof's in the pudding. Had champions, Winks, Nature Strip, the best horse and best sprinter of our last few decades. And how many premierships has he won?
Yeah, fair few. Do you reckon he's good, though, because of where he's come from? Think about that. Like, he's come from nothing.
He's come from nothing.
Like, that story, like, maxed out credit cards and worked their way through and...
You know, that's
Yeah, I'm not winning premierships and champion. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Well, the thing that makes Chris so good, in my opinion, is just he knows each horse so intricately and his placement.
Yeah.
He gets this horse, it comes through, it's doing this at track work. He's already thinking in his mind, oh, this is my Derby horse, this is my Golden Rose horse or whatever. He just knows, and he's got a formula that has worked year after year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So we go, yeah.
See Waller, too
Ding,
good.
ding. Kira Ma, David Eustace.
I'm going to say Annabelle Neesham because I've got a horse with her,
Oh,
and
so
I,
you're just trying to
I
get
wouldn't
cheap.
mind the training fees to drop a bit.
Mate,
Annabelle,
no,
you're a star.
it's got to be Eustace and Ma. Look what they've done. I'll tell you something about Eustace and Ma. Like, look at Hitotsu.
Well, that's what sprung to
Yeah.
mind. That Derby, what was he, second up or into the Derby? He was like a
No, it was
16,
like-
he
it was
was
almost-
third
yeah.
up off a mile run
Yeah.
into a Derby. So they're actually changing the game in the way they're
Yeah.
getting these horses to peak. They don't have to have a million runs
Yeah.
to get them to their optimal. Yeah, they're very good as well.
Lost and Running will win this year's Everest.
No.
I'm going to say
You
yes.
say yes.
Well, he's our horse. He's the tab horse. So I'm not going to...
Yeah, well, I
I'm not going to
understand.
bite the hand who feeds us.
No,
to yes.
I understand that, but it's only got to run a place to get the money back. So, mate, he's a good horse. He did some great things last preparation, going through the grades.
Well,
But
look,
can he win the world's
so what
best
are you
sprint
saying?
race?
You think
I
Nature
don't
Strip again?
I think it'll be either Nature Strip, and I think that grey horse, Classic Legend's going to... He's had the right preparation from chatting with Les
Yeah,
Bridge.
if he's at his best, we saw what he did in 2020.
That's what I
Classic
mean.
Legend. He was dominant. He smashed them.
Yeah.
I hope they're all there at their peak and it makes it a great
Yeah.
race. But I think Nature Strip, he's the king, but he can only go one way. He's at the top. He can only decline, whereas Lost and Running, I think he's got his best ahead of him, a bit like yourself, DS.
I don't think look, I hope he runs well for your sake, but I'm going to say... I love John O'Shea in that too. Like, I'm not, I know what they're like. They'll see this and be like, oh, Stanley, you're potting our horse. But...
They'll go in confidence.
Oh, they will. Actually, yeah, I could stop a lot of
I'm
things.
saying yes. I think it could be easy.
All right.
Prime Chautauqua would catch Prime Nature Strip.
Yeah, I agree. I think the
No.
strip's often gone.
Just can't run those sectionals. Like, if think about, like think about a running race. Like, if Usain Bolt's out in front, and you got Carl Lewis out the back, he's not stopping Usain.
I know. Racing styles win races. I think if Nature Strip, he's out in front chugging Chautauqua, he'll be coming late.
Big
but
flash,
Nature
yeah.
Strip doesn't really stop. He just
No.
goes hard and keeps going. That last 200, of course, he's decreasing a little bit, but he can do it both ends, Nature Strip.
But it's also too, think about the way Nature Strip wins. Nature Strip wins from almost the 400 to the 200 because he gets them going.
Well, that's right.
Whereas Chautauqua, at that stage of the race, sometimes, I mean, look at that teacher. He was being scrubbed along.
I know, he was gone.
So, yeah, I'd just say, I'm with you. Nature Strip.
Yep, Strip.
Very Elegant will reach 15 career Group 1 wins.
Yes.
No chance.
Why no chance?
Well, she's 7. She's won 11 now. I think she's in the twilight. She's probably only going to have another 4 or 5
Yeah,
starts.
but over
isn't she?
there, they have heaps of Group 1s. Think about all the Sunday nights we've been out.
She might win
Late
the
in the
Arc.
morning. It looks like they win the Group 1 every night. She might win the 8. Wouldn't you want to see her win 15 though? Wouldn't that be good?
That wasn't the question though. Would I like?
Oh,
Yeah, of course
fair.
I'd like to see very.
Oh, so you've changed now?
No, but I'm saying she won't.
You don't.
She won't.
Well, that's disappointing.
She's in the
I do.
end game now.
I do hope she doesn't go there and fail, because that would be...
Oh, she's not that sort of horse.
No.
She's so tough and just loves racing.
And
so.
knowing what they're like too, like there'll be a lot of eyeballs on her. So if she doesn't perform well, they'll all go, oh, well, you know, who is she beating here, you know? Because Zaaki and those horses weren't great in that part of the world.
It's like any person or animal. You come to Australia, you find 10 lengths.
100%. It is the best country in the world. I agree. That's a yeah. That's a question.
Good country, Australia.
British horse racing carnivals are more exciting than Australian horse racing carnivals.
I say no. Bias, but you can't beat our carnivals here. It's just, I feel like we've got a bit more ticker, a bit more go. You know, you've been over there. I've been over there, and I've been to one race meeting over there, and you get to the last, and they just, you know.
Well, look, I've never been, but from watching afar, it doesn't grab me like.
I can't cop straight racing.
I feel like our racing is more energy, excitement, whereas over there in the UK, there's a little bit sort of pacemakers, all of that.
Oh, so you're more talking about on the track.
I'm
talking about off the track.
You're always
you know, like I'm just sort of, you know, you want to, you know, you spend a bit of money to fly over there. You want to have a crack.
Sight and sound, top hat, etc.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I've never been to Royal Ascot. I don't know how I'd go on the top hat. I reckon,
sweat up.
Oh, mate. It'd be shocking. Imagine if there was a bit of heat on. And there's never any... Can you imagine the sweat? Oh, it'd be horrific. And there's never any sun, although there was sun this year.
Sorry, I'm
Are you just thinking about me just sweating up in the top hat?
Yeah. No, I'm going.
Zaaki will beat Anamoe in the George Main Stakes.
No. I think this horse, you say... I know we've had conversations about Anamoe being not at his best, but what he did in that Cox Plate, what he did is that 3-year-old preparation, I think he is our next... Say you think. I think he's just a freak.
Serious.
Yeah, well, I just think he's a really serious horse. I think put a line through that autumn, just put a line through it. Things didn't go his way, and I think he'll come back this spring and he will be just a serious horse. So apologies, James Cummings. I've just stopped Anamoe, and I apologise to all the team at Godolphin.
Yeah, look, I love Zaaki, but I think the other horse has all the upside, as you said, and looking forward to a great clash. We've got some good horses going around this spring, don't we?
We do.
Lonhro would draw a bigger crowd than Black Caviar.
Yeah, I'll say no.
I'm going to say no as well.
Say
I
no.
mean, what Black Caviar did for racing in her prime, people were coming out just to see her. You remember those days at Randwick when she went to Melbourne? They were just packing the joint out.
Well, what I did like about Black Caviar was, and we didn't see it as much with Winks, but no fault of Winks or anyone, but just was the tour. I mean, he took her to all the Eastern Seaboard, well, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne.
It's true.
And Adelaide. Remember she won in Adelaide, and like that, apparently that day at Morfordville was like...
Well, she could draw a crowd anywhere. But are we being biased? Because Lonhro was not really our generation. I mean, he was racing in front of massive crowds as well.
Massive.
And he send-off his last Melbourne run. It was off the canvas.
That's right.
To win that Australian Cup. I mean, that was a great moment in racing. So they could both draw a crowd, but I think my bias, her being in my era,
I
land on the mare.
I have to say the mare.
The Golden Eagle will be going offshore with French-bred colt light infantry.
I'll say no.
I'll say no as well.
But I'll have a little side bet. Within the next 5 years, a horse from the Northern Hemisphere will win it. Because if it just keeps going up in money, they race for ribbons up there.
Well, that's what I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Northern Hemisphere horse come down here, compete really well in the race, even win the race, because that's what we're going for with the Golden Eagle as an international draw card.
Yeah.
I mean, the money that's up for grabs.
I really like it because it is for that 4-year-old. You know, like,
well, it stands alone.
Yeah,
it stands alone in this country,
and especially too from their breeding and time zones, and it doesn't clash with any of their big races, so they can I mean we're never going to get their next superstar.
Who's going to win it this year then? Will
gonna
Anamoe be
win?
there?
No, well, I don't know. What would you do if you're Anamoe? Does he go back and try and win a Cox Plate? You know,
World's his oyster.
the world is his oyster. I don't know who wins the Golden Eagle this year.
Time will tell.
Art Cadeau will go back-to-back in the Kosciuszko.
I'm going to say
no.
no. I think this year for mine is one year where it's susceptible to a young up-and-comer. I think those horses at the top, they've been there a few years now. Art Cadeau, Handle the Truth, they're ready to be knocked off. I think a fresh young horse is going to come through this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think too that trainers and owners have not really worked out, but they're
planning for
just
it more now, aren't they?
There's a different type of horse that we're now seeing pop up in the country, and that like progressive type you talk about. And I think that this year we're going to see that. Mind you, the beauty of that race is that we don't know really what's going to be in the race. If all the slots are won by owners, they might pick their own horse. So
Good call.
yeah, it's interesting.
I'm saying no, though, this year.
With you.
J-Mac will become the greatest jockey of all time in Australia.
He already is, isn't he?
Of all time, he's got to tick off all the records, etc. But I think he's only just turned 30, and he's already done so much. He's won an Everest, a Melbourne Cup. He's well over 50 Group 1s.
He just has this, you know, when you see good athletes and he just has that tenacity about him. Like he could easily, you know, in quieter months take the foot off the gas, but he is just addicted to winning. Like just addicted to winning, and doesn't matter. Like you've played golf with him. You even hear from like, you know, we're good mates with his brother. When just even little things, if
He doesn't give you an inch.
he won't, you know. But he's just so competitive, and he's in the zone. And it's almost like, Luke, tell me if you think I'm wrong. He is like a furlong ahead of him. He's 200 metres ahead of him. So he is almost sitting there going, right, well, I know Huey's going to do this. I know this is going to happen. So I'm going to... You very rarely see him in strife. Once or twice,
That's the difference between the good and the elite. That consistency across the board, performing under the big pressure of the big races. And James has done it season after season since he was quite young.
Do you reckon he'll stay here, or do you reckon he'll eventually go somewhere else?
Well, he could buy anywhere he wants. He's flying, so...
Oh, no. But do you reckon he will always be in Sydney, or do you think he'll get big offers, you know, to go to Hong Kong one day?
I think now that post-COVID era, international travel's back on, I think he could do whatever he likes. He could do those Ascots, Hong Kongs, etc., and still base himself here in Sydney because it's a pretty good city here.
That's the best in the world.
Good racing here.
Best in the world. All right, mate. Thank you.
See you, DS. That was fun.
Was fun.
Big spring ahead, mate. Really excited.
Some of your questions I was a bit surprised about, or your answers.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, no.
It's good fun.
It was good fun.
Yeah.